meet. So I wanted to talk to you all about Samhain because it's coming and it's crazy because last year I really was like, okay, I'm ready to go into this new phase of life. I'm ready. I'm there. It's gonna happen in like 1 to 2 weeks, maybe a month or so. And by Yule, I'll definitely be into this new phase of life. Like I'm in college. I'm 19. It's fine. It took a full year. And like I'm there now. And at my birthday, I really affirmed, like, I'm into my 20s now. And doing that full, like, week of ritual really helped in that. But now, I mean, I feel like I have officially moved into the new phase of life, and Samhain is just, like, this point of, oh my god, there's a butterfly! It's a yellow butterfly. Anyways, it was flying in front of the car. But anyways, at Samhain, it's going to accumulate all the things that I've done to hit at Samhain and to embark on this new things. But like this last year, I had no idea how much I was going to do, because I ended up kind of interning for a few months and then quitting for a variety of reasons, and then finding a new temp job, and I mean, I'm finishing up with my degree this year, and just, like, as a whole, I've just grown and changed, and I'm just like, oh my god, when did this happen? I mean, again, certain things, like going and being like, can I work here, and then quitting, and then, like, that was such a turning point in my life. And then finding a new job and now looking for a permanent job, but not super intensely, because I'm like, yeah, maybe. I still gotta finish up my degree, but I'm looking for this other job in the meantime so that when I'm done in the winter, I can go find a job. If not sooner, because a lot of companies will work around your school schedule. But yeah, so I'm just like, I'm growing up, and I'm like trying to spend my money on wise things. I say trying because I just bought 2 books because, you do that, like $40, but whatever. They're worth it. One was like $35, but it's out of print, and I've wanted to get it for years now, so I was finally like, oh my god, I've got a couple of, I got some money, let's do it, real quick. Because right now I'm just like doing a couple of odd jobs and helping out, and having just kind of my little temp job in the meantime, helping out where I can, kind of a thing. But it's still something. And so, yeah, it's just really crazy how much has changed in this year for me. But then at the same time, with that, like, this year at Samhain, like, I'm planning on doing my self-guided sort of training, with the Priestess of Avalon book, to, not officially, become a Sister of Avalon. I'm going to do the spirals myself, and then hopefully I can save up money and then do the training, because I can't yet. I forgot for a while. I was like, next year I can totally do it, so I'll do my own self-guided, and then next year I'll do the official. Yeah, I can't do that yet. You have to be 23, so I have a while to wait to do that. But nonetheless, I've got from now until I'm 23. So I've got a few years to decide if I really want to do that training or not. I'm sure I will, because it's awesome. But it is kind of pricey, and I totally spaced that you have to be 23, so I'm like, well then. But yeah, so I'm planning on doing my self-guided training with the book, and with that, like, I've been getting ideas, and I'm like, oh, okay, so like the color blue, like, when a couple of situations came to a head, like, that was the color that's like, this is what you need to go into. So I'm going into my more blue priestessy, blue goddess energy. And so that's great. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm loving that. But then, it's also like, Samhain, there's so many things that happen on and around October 31st. Just culturally, like, so many things are happening. You've got, and I know I'm gonna butcher the, like, pronunciation of this, the Dia de los Muertos in kind of Mexican cultures. I don't know if it's all of Central America or if it's just a kind of like Mexican holiday, but nonetheless, like, it's a phenomenal celebration. Like, I've done a couple of like research projects on it, and I'm just like, wow, that would be so cool. I don't really know anyone like firsthand that actually celebrates it, but looking it up, it looks pretty cool. But I love learning about other cultures, anyways. So, I was like, I don't know, like that's going on, but then you've also got like the Samhain, like ancestor going to your graveyards and honoring your dead kind of vibe to it. And then you've got Halloween, and you know, the two sides of that. You've got like kind of the innocent and fun side, and then you've got adults going wild side. I'm just not that person. Like, the slutty outfits and drinking and all of that and horror films, just not my scene, not my thing. I prefer to watch like The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and to make homemade Twix, like, and carve a pumpkin. Like, nothing super spectacular, but nonetheless, it's something. So I don't know. Like, there's just so many things that come around during Samhain, and so I feel like my phone's gonna be overheating soon, but maybe not. The car is getting a little toasty. So I don't have the windows down because there's all these crazy weird bugs out here, but anyways. And now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, anyways, there's so many things going on around October 31st. So, for me, this year, like, my focus, I mean, I always will go and visit the family graves at some point around Samhain, but for me this year, along with that, I am going to be kind of, the way to put it that kind of was brought to me was, I have to look myself in the mirror, and I have to go through and really delve into my past. And I have a black skull candle for this, and I've been waiting to use it, and I knew there's going to be a purpose, and that's it. And like, I have the altar in mind already, and it's going to be glorious. But it's going to be my candle for this, like, what I'm going into. And, oh, the car's happening. Like, it was so nice and quiet. But anyways, so, yeah, with that, I really have to go and embrace, like, what's happened throughout the years, and really, I think it's just a time to reflect on my life up to this point. Because I really feel like I need to embrace the idea and the fact that I have nearly died a lot. Like, several times throughout the year as a kid, I would end up in the hospital on my literal deathbed. Like, it was a miracle to some degree. Like, some people are far worse, but for me, it was kind of a miracle to live because, you know, I had to have blood transfusions, and I had to have crazy weird medicines, and we had to see if they would even work. And it's not like an unheard of disorder that I have, but it's not particularly common either. And so, dealing with that, and, you know, dying, nearly, I mean, couple out, like, not even an hour, and I would have been dead several times. So, coming to terms with that, because, you know, it's not a common thing. Not a lot of people can be like, oh yeah, I nearly died several times as a child. Like, to me, it's just, yeah, it happened. I never gave it much thought. But it's like, I need to really go into that and be like, but it affected me. And I have to think about that and really go into it, because, again, not a lot of people can say that they know things that could have killed them. The very essence of your being, your blood, being the reason you die. Like, it's not a common thing. And it being the culprit of a problem that could kill you. And has tried several times. Like, if it wasn't for modern medicine, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And so, I really have to go through and see what I think about that. And spend some time just sitting at the altar contemplating that and writing and journaling about it. And then I also need to spend some time, sorry, I'm gonna turn on the car because it's like really hot in the car. But I don't want to kill the battery, so we're just gonna start the car. And then we'll finish up in a couple minutes anyways. So, and then I lose my train of thought. But maybe we'll stick that up, so maybe it'll cool off the phone. It's still in the sun. But anyways. And then also, I need to look at my life from the past few years. Because I just barely got out of the underworld, and it's been really weird. And like, I'm going to be setting up an altar that's kind of dedicated to this new phase, and like having, you know, Morrigan there, and also Hecate, or however you want to say her name, on the altar there, because they're the ones kind of guiding me in this journey right now. But, you know, have an altar set up for that, and journey with them, because they were there when I got out of the underworld, but they're wanting me to look back on it. And so when I'm setting up this altar that I'm going to create, it's like I have to go to those times. And I was like, I used to do this, and I'm going to do it again, but I have to like get an attachment thing for my computer, because it doesn't have a disk drive or whatever, so I can't burn CDs, but I used to all the time. And I made CDs, and there's one in particular, and I just put like Rhiannon's random songs, but it has these songs, and I was listening back to it, and I was just like, I could go back to those moments that particular song was like so important. And I mean, I can flip through my journal and read through it, but there's something about hearing a song that it just like, I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but some songs it's just like, and it just takes you back. And I was listening to them, and one in particular, I was listening to it, and it, like, the image it pulls up, it came up in meditations before for me. It's come up like when I need to, like when I was doing the releasing of my teenage years and entering into my 20s at my birthday, like that image came up again, and it's like where my old locker in my middle school was. And yet it's never an instance that actually happened, but it's like the essence of who I was at that moment standing there. And behind me is like this golden light, but I'm turned away from it. And like that point is when I was in middle school, I descended hardcore, and I have lingered so long there. And then once I graduated, I really started to dig my way up. And then this last year, I was just like, I could see the light. I was getting there. And then a couple of instances happened, and then I was gone, and I was out of it. And I was like, whoa, I'm out of the underworld. And now I have to go and reflect on my time in the underworld and really think about those lessons and then apply them. And so that's really what Samhain this year is all about. Like this whole season with the Sheila gig and whoever the Morgan is for the season, I can't remember. I want to say it's like Moronaway or something, or Massaway. No, I think Massaway is the oldest. Or Moronaway might, I don't even know. One of them. I can't honestly remember. But there's a Morgan for Samhain. And going and delving and really going through this. So, I don't know. I just wanted to share that little bit of what I'm going to be doing for Samhain, and kind of what I'm going to be focusing on. So I will show you my Blue Priestess journey altar thing. I'll be setting that up tonight. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and until my next video, blessed be.